Virginia This Morning on CBS 6.
And good morning. Welcome to our live Monday show. I'm Cheryl Miller. We have been talking a lot lately about a topic that a lot of people hesitate to talk about, and that is money. Today we're talking about protecting the financial future of children being raised by their grandparents. For that, we turn to local financial expert Bryan. Good morning, JB.
Good morning, Cheryl. And actually, even more interesting is protecting the future of the grandparents that are taking care of the children. Because what we found is that there's a large percentage, or a growing percentage of people, of grandparents that are actually raising their grandchildren. So they have like acronyms even for it now. GRP, grandparents raising grandchildren, GAP, GAP for grandparents, grandparents as parents now. So it's just since 1970, when they look at the studies to today, there's a much larger percentage due to divorces, substance abuse, incarceration. There's a lot of grandparents whose retirement is actually being disturbed by now having the responsibility that they really didn't have a chance to financially plan for. They have the responsibility of raising their grandkids now.
So extra children in the family. And the thing, too, is the way we think of grandparents has changed. Grandparents aren't sitting on the front porch in the rocker anymore. A lot of grandparents are still in the workforce. They're not retired yet.
And if they're raising their grandchildren, they really don't have a choice, because it costs a lot to raise children. Mm-hmm. And interesting enough, when I thought about this topic last night and I was sitting there with my child, doing her homework, basically pushing her to do her homework, I realized that without having the internet, her homework wouldn't even have been possible. I had teachers who said, we're not distributing textbooks, it's on my website, things like that. Mm-hmm. So if you're a grandparent with that responsibility, you must incur the expense of having the Wi-Fi, having a wireless printer in the home, or having the printer in the home. You have to print out things so that they can actually see it. So print out your assignment so they can work on it, or getting so there's a lot of responsibility for a person who thought that they would be retired by now, and now something happened in the family and they have that responsibility. So how do they stay the course with their financial plans? For most of them, it means, Cheryl, that they have to get help. They have to say that I need to get some assistance in what type of programs are out there for me. If, as you mentioned, they're still working, so that means they have a child care.
Yeah.
That's right.
So let's prioritize, JB. Right. Where do we start? What should we be protecting first in our finances?
Well, definitely you want to protect your retirement, because I always say that you cannot get a loan for retirement. And so often people say, well, what do I do to save for their college? Well, if you have to, they can get a loan for college, but for retirement, you can't. So you must make sure that you get the support to help you with those expenses that you're incurring unexpectedly, like legally, you may need to change some documents. You may have to legally adopt your grandchild so that they can get the Social Security benefits that you have. Or you may need to get legal assistance on how to investigate getting that child the assistance because their parent is disabled and that's why you're taking care of them.
And you also may want to make plans if something happens to you. You need to appoint a guardian to step in.
Very, very good point. And there's websites like lawhelp.org where you can go and see if there's local free assistance, because a lot of these things are just simple legal documents that you need to have access to, and they can help you. So if the grandparent has to also look into situations, no matter how much, this is even available to the wealthy, is the TANF, they call it, where they have a financial assistance based on just the child's income. And without a parent, that child has no income. Even if you are financially independent, you can still get that assistance for your grandchild, which could lead to getting health insurance for the grandchild.
What about health care? That's the big issue.
Yes, big expense. And if they're not legally connected to you through you adopting them or becoming a foster parent for your grandchild or what have you, then you need to make sure that the documents are set up that they have no financial assistance from the parent, so they could actually be taken care of by maybe even Medicaid. Mm-hmm. But you have to, as a grandparent, make sure that you take the time to get the help, because many grandparents don't they don't feel that they can go out there and get it, and they feel like they should they should take responsibility for this. But when you realize that now you're slowing down your retirement savings if you don't get the help that you need, because now you're spending extra money, another generation of spending on those child care expenses. So get the assistance that you need so that you can continue to save for your retirement so that you're not a burden for that child.
We need to use that Wi-Fi we're paying for now to do some research, because there's a lot of assistance out there, not only legally but financially, and Social Security is a big thing people should look at too, because depending on the situation of why you have that child, Social Security may be there to help you.
That's right. And if you're a grandparent that is receiving Social Security, you may need to do documents correctly legally so that your grandchild can also receive the Social Security benefits that they can receive as a minor that you're the caretaker for.
So you have to protect yourself so that you can protect the grandchild.
Yes, protect yourself so that you're getting the financial help that you need so that you can continue to save for your retirement. And if you're working, look at childcareaware.org, and it talks about child care assistance programs that you may be able to get so that you're not spending that child care expense. You're putting that into your retirement account.
There is help out there. J.B. Bryan, thanks so much for being here on this Monday morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And J.B. Bryan offers free money seminars every Wednesday at noon at her offices in Glen Allen. Pre-registration is required. If you'd like to get a link to more information on these, just go to our website at WTVR.com/VTM.